पद्मकोशा पतितकराग्रात्. What told me? Tvam, you. Re, shyness. Bhavani, the wife of Lord Shiva. Asi, or Atha, rather. Vak, Saraswati, the goddess of learning. Rama, the goddess of fortune. Patim, husband. Vichinvati, searching after, thinking of. Kim, are you? Munivat, like a sage. Raha, in this lonely place. Vane, in the forest. Tvadangri, your feet. Kama, desiring. Apta, achieved. Samasta, all. Kamam, desirable things. Kva, where is? Padma Koshaha, the lotus flower. Patitaha, fallen. Kara, of the hand. Agrat, from the front portion or palm. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. My dear beautiful girl, you are exactly like the goddess of fortune or the wife of Lord Shiva or the goddess of learning, the wife of Lord Brahma. Although you must be one of them, I see that you are loitering in this forest. Indeed, you are as silent as the great sages. Is it that you are searching after your own husband? Whoever your husband may be, simply by understanding that you are so faithful to him, he will come to possess all opulences. I think you must be the goddess of fortune, but I do not see the lotus flower in your hand. Therefore, I am asking you where you have thrown that lotus. Purport. Everyone thinks that his intelligence is perfect. Sometimes one employs his intelligence in the worship of Uma, the wife of Lord Shiva, in order to obtain a beautiful wife. Sometimes, when one wants to become as learned as Lord Brahma, he employs his intelligence in the worship of the goddess of learning, Saraswati. Sometimes, when one wishes to become as opulent as Lord Vishnu, he worships the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi. In this verse, all these inquiries are made by King Puranjana, the living entity who is bewildered and does not know how to employ his intelligence. Intelligence should be employed in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As soon as one uses his intelligence in this way, the goddess of fortune automatically becomes favorable to him. The goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, never remains without her husband, Lord Vishnu. Consequently, when one worships Lord Vishnu, he automatically obtains the favor of the goddess of fortune. One should not, like Ravana, worship the goddess of fortune alone, for she cannot remain long without her husband. Thus, her other name is Chanchala, or restless. In this verse, it is clear that Puranjana is representing our intelligence while he is talking with the girl. He not only appreciated the shyness of the girl, but actually became more and more attracted by that shyness. Not only appreciated the shyness of the girl, but actually became more and more attracted by that shyness. He was actually thinking of becoming her husband and consequently was asking her whether she was thinking of her prospective husband or whether she was married. This is an example of bhoga ichha, the desire for enjoyment. One who is attracted by such desires becomes conditioned in this material world, and one who is not so attracted attains liberation. King Puranjana was appreciating the beauty of the girl as if she were the goddess of fortune. But at the same time, he was careful to understand that the goddess of fortune cannot be enjoyed by anyone except Lord Vishnu. Since he doubted whether the girl was the goddess of fortune, he inquired about the lotus flower she was not holding. The material world is also the goddess of fortune. because the material energy works under the direction of Lord Vishnu, as stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Maya Dakshena Prakritihi Suyate Sacharacharam. The material world cannot be enjoyed by any living entity. If one so desires to enjoy it, he immediately becomes a demon like Ravana, Hiranyakashipu, or Kamsa. Because Ravana wanted to enjoy the goddess of fortune, Sita Devi, he was vanquished with all his family, wealth, and opulence. One can, however, enjoy that Maya bestowed upon the living entity by Lord Vishnu. The satisfaction of one's senses and desires means enjoying Maya, not the goddess of fortune. Hare Krishna. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapatikamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Tam Sarivam Sadhvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamsha Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Name Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarane Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratise Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriya Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyev Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mokam Kurati Vachalam Pangam Langayate Girim Prabhatam Mande Shri Guru Vrindaranam Pramanamada Chaitanya Vishwara. Hare Krishna. I welcome everyone for the Srimad Bhagavatam class today morning. Also like to seek the blessings of all the Vaishnavas and the spiritual masters so that I can speak something which can increase our remembrance of Krishna and for the pleasure of Krishna. So today we are discussing from Canto 4, Chapter 25, text number 28. The chapter is entitled The Characteristics of King Puranjana. The story of Puranjana is all of our story. And the story of the Jiva who tries to enjoy this material world is being described here, starting from this chapter till the end of this Bhagavatam, the fourth canto. The story is being described. So Puranjana, he comes to the city of 9 gates, and in this city of 9 gates he meets a beautiful lady, and this beautiful lady was guarded by snakes, multi-hooded snakes and bodyguards. Snake was Prana, and the bodyguards 11 in number. They were the senses and the mind. So, and he got attracted to the beauty of that lady. So this indicates that Jiva comes to this material world and gets attracted to the materialistic intelligence and makes plan with this materialistic intelligence to enjoy the senses and opulences of this world. So that's what is indicated by this allegory, which will be later explained in detail by Narada Muni. So the root cause for our all sufferings is the desire to enjoy this material world, that curiosity to enjoy this material world, to explore this material world. That's what is the beginning of all problems. Here, Puranjana, he came and proposed. He is going to propose now. He is beginning stages of that proposal. Please marry me. And before actually proposing, he is inquiring, he is gathering more details about Katvam, Kasyasi, Kutaha, Ayata. The previous verse was there. Yeah, Katvam, Kanjapala, Shakshi, Kasyasi, Iha Kuta. How could you come here? And whom do you belong to? Imam Upapurim Bhuri Bhiru Kim Chikirshasi Shamsame. And what are you searching here in this city? Like this, he came and asks these questions. So this is a sign of attachment. Right? It clearly shows that he is attached and he is wanting to enjoy this lady. So this is the nature of the jiva. The jiva also, when he becomes curious of something, a mobile phone or a land or home, apartment, that curiosity itself means that he wants to enjoy. First he wants to possess that items and then he wants to enjoy that item. Right? In fact, given a chance, he wants to enjoy everything in this world. But only thing that facility is not there. People don't have that much money, or people don't have that much lifespan to enjoy everything. So their desires always remain frustrated. But desire to enjoy is unlimited. So jiva has unlimited desire. Ichha, बहुत इच्छा है. Right? काम भी बोलते हैं ना, काम को भी इच्छा बोलते हैं. काम बहुत पर जीवन थोड़ा. There's one song which Navyangar Maharaj sings. काम बहुत है, desires are many, but जीवन बहुत छोटा है. काम बहुत पर जीवन थोड़ा, उस पर मन का चंचल घोड़ा. And mind is also uncontrolled. So in such a situation, how can the soul be happy? Because desires are not getting fulfilled, and again and again he is getting frustrated. He wants happiness, but he gets viparya, the opposite result, which is frustration. So that is the nature of material happiness. So here we see that he is coming and asking, who are you? He wants to verify whether she is married or not married. That's the first thing. Because he has some common sense that the rules and regulations of dharma he is following. He is a pious soul. Puranjana is not a impious soul. He is a very pious soul. Prachini Varishad was a very pious soul. Actually, Puranjana's story is nothing but the story of Prachini Varishad. Prachini Varishad was not sinful intentionally. He was a very pious person. He was doing a lot of pujas, yajnas, sacrifices. But he was a karmakandi. His desire was to go to Swarga. So because being a karmakandi, he was doing a lot of karmakanda sacrifices so that he gets the piety and he can go to Swarga and continue his enjoyment, bhoga. So this is Puranjana's story is story of a pious person. So being pious is also wrong. That's what Srimad Bhagavatam wants to tell here. Being pious is not sufficient. You have to become pure devotee. So this story is illustrated to show us that being sinful is bad, but being pious is also bad. Become a pure devotee. Right? Dharma, artha, kama, moksha. All four are rejected in Srimad Bhagavatam. Dharma projita kaitavo atra paramo dharmatsaranam satam. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, dharma, artha, kama, even moksha vancha is also rejected. Right? Karma kanda, jnana kanda are also rejected. So what is accepted is only Shuddha Bhakti. So Narada Muni wants to bring Prachini Varishad to the stage of Shuddha Bhakti. And to do that, he is reciting the story of Puranjana. So Puranjana, he is asking, are you Bhavani, wife of Shiva? Or are you Vak, Saraswati, wife of Brahmaji? Are you Rama, wife of Lord Vishnu? Because from your looks I see that you are looking like them. You are a sati, chaste, very pure. Right? She was a very chaste lady. In the previous sloka it was written. Right. Kutaha sati, oh chaste one. Right. So, and but he had a doubt, samshaya. What is that samshaya? Samshaya was that Lakshmi generally holds Padma Alankartapani, Pallavayugam, Padmasanastham. She is sitting on the lotus and she is holding a lotus. But I don't see the lotus in your hand. So where have you dropped it? Right? Kwa patitaha karagra padmakoshaha. Where has that lotus flower fell down from your hand? So I doubt whether you are Lakshmi. So he is using his intelligence to ascertain who is she. So Prabhupada writes here that we also should use our intelligence to ascertain the correct nature of the things and come to the right conclusion. So that is the function of intelligence. Function of intelligence is to discrimination. So Prabhupada says that this is called as bhoga ichha, the desire for enjoyment. So he is trying to enjoy this lady, but Prabhupada says that instead of using our intelligence to enjoy sense gratification, we should use our intelligence for advancing in Krishna consciousness. So that is the nature of spiritual intelligence, to develop Krishna consciousness. Material intelligence, to develop material life. So there are many intelligent people in this planet, very, very intelligent, but they are misusing their intelligence for developing economic development, sense gratification, isn't it? So many IITs, so many IIMs, so many top-notch institutions, and what all of them are doing? How to make better facilities for sense gratification and sense enjoyment. Nowadays we see that people are so lazy that they can't even brush their teeth. So they have got electric, they brush with electric toothbrush. Jagannath Bale Sudramaya ki, Shri Radha Vinod ji ki, Shri Nityananda Natawar Gaur Sundar ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. So people are inventing electric brushes. People are inventing most sophisticated beds so that they can sleep comfortably. People are inventing most sophisticated vehicles. Okay, many are there. That's one of them. You don't have to drive, just sit inside. You just sit inside and the car will take you to the destination. You just give the location. Cars have become very intelligent, so that we become lazy. Cars have become intelligent so that we can enjoy comforts. So advanced cars, advanced toothbrushes, advanced beds, and there are advanced security systems in home. Right? You have a lot of wealth at home, people keep security. As soon as somebody comes, immediately one gets the alert. Intruder has come. Check the security. So people are becoming very, very intelligent, but for what? Eating, mating, sleeping and defending. I saw on video where one robot was serving dishes. Robot is serving roti, sabji and other things. Robo kitchen, robo chef, whatever. So, they are becoming so advanced. All that which humans can do, they are robo armies. Man is using his intelligence to create robotic armies to fight against. So man doesn't have to go to fight. As machines go, they will fight. It's coming up. So people are using their intelligence for eating, mating, sleeping and defending. Better eating, better mating, better sleeping, better defending, and they die. Again take birth. Again die. Again take birth. So what do they use? So Prabhupada is telling here that the best use of intelligence is to engage it in Krishna's service, to develop Krishna consciousness. So this is the purpose of intelligence. So let's see some points about intelligence from third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Actually, intelligence is one of the elements created by Krishna, right? Bhumirapo analo vayu kham, mano, buddhi, ahankara. So the total 8 are there. So buddhi is one of the elements created by Krishna. And why he has created, what is the purpose of buddhi? That is told in Srimad Bhagavatam. Gita just gives basic knowledge, but it is elaborated in Srimad Bhagavatam. In chapter 26 of 3rd canto, fundamental principles of material nature. In this chapter, all the 24 elements and their characteristics are explained. What is how is Pradhana, how Pradhana transforms into Mahatattva by the glance of Lord Vishnu. And how Mahatattva becomes tamasic and becomes Ahankara. And that Ahankara gets transformed in 3 modes of nature, Sattva-guna, Raja-guna and Tama-guna. So when that Mahatattva, which is mostly in Tamas, when it gets transformed in Sattva-guna, it becomes, what is created? Mind is created. So mind and sense devatas are created. And when that same Mahatattva gets transformed in passion, what is created? Intelligence is created, along with senses. Senses are also in Tamaguna. Rajaguna. And then when that Mahatattva transforms in by the effect of Tamaguna, then what is created? Falsiva and Tanmatras, elements, right? Shabda, Sparsha, Rasa, Rupa, Gandha, and all the material elements. So earth, water, fire, air, ether, all these things are created in Tamoguna. So in this way, all the 24 elements are created. So then the details of all these 24 elements are given here. So in Shloka 29 and 30, the nature of Buddhi is explained. Before this, nature of Manas. And before that, Chitta, all that is explained. Very nicely it is explained. Right? So before this, he told that the function of mind is Sankalpa Vikalpa. Accepting things and rejecting things. Acha laga, accept karo. Boring laga, reject karo. That's how the mind is. Sometimes it accepts things and same thing it rejects also. Like child wants a new cycle and jid karke le leta hai cycle. But after a few months, reject it because I don't like it. It has become old now. I want something new now. So that's the nature of Sankalpa and Vikalpa. A man also makes some plan and wants to fulfill that plan. But in between he faces a difficulty, reject it, take another. So in this way, accepting and rejecting is the nature of mind. And the nature of Buddhi is, actually there are different qualities of Buddhi. Taijasatu vikurvanat buddhi tattvam abhut sati. Buddhi is created by the transformation in Rajaguna, Taijasat. Vikurvanat, transformation. Buddhi tattvam, the Buddhi is manifest. The principle of Buddhi is manifest. Abhut sati. Actually, this is being told by Kapila to Devavati. So Kapila is addressing Mother as Sati. Dravya spurana vijnanam indriyanam anugraha. So the first nature, first quality of Buddhi is Dravya spurana vijnanam. What is Dravya spurana? Dravya means the elements, the objects, sense objects. Spurana, coming into view, and vijnanam, ascertaining. So the function of intelligence are to help in ascertaining the nature of objects when they come into the view. Right? Not only through the eyes, but to any of the senses. Right? You smell some object, is it good or bad? When you see something, is it beautiful or ugly? When you hear something, oh, is it right or wrong sound? Should I hear it or not? Like this Davya Spurana Vijnanam. To ascertain the right nature of the object is the first quality of intelligence. And Indriyanam Anugraha. Indriyo ke upar anugraha dikhana. Means what? To help the senses in performing their function. Okay, without intelligence, one cannot function properly. The senses will not function. Even the mind will not function. Mind is also one of the senses. So the mind and the senses require the intelligence support. So the intelligence supports the mind and the senses to do the duties properly. So that's why we should keep the intelligence very sharp and alert always. If the intelligence is dull, then one cannot ascertain right and wrong, then one commits blunders. So one should have very sharp intelligence. So Prabhupada says in the purport, intelligence is a discriminating power to understand an object, and it helps the senses make choices. Therefore, intelligence is supposed to be the master of the senses. The perfection of intelligence is attained when one becomes fixed in the activities of Krishna consciousness. Okay? So intelligence is master of the senses. So this intelligence should be fixed in Krishna conscious activities. By the proper use of intelligence, one's consciousness is expanded, and the ultimate expansion of consciousness is Krishna consciousness. So one should use intelligence to discriminate what is favorable for Krishna consciousness and what is unfavorable for Krishna consciousness. That's what it means. Something is favorable for Krishna consciousness, accept it. And something is not favorable, reject it. How the intelligence fails? That's already explained in Bhagavad Gita. Right? Dhyayato vishan pumsa sangastesh upajayate sangat sanjayate kamah kamat krodho vijayate krodhat bhavate sammoha sammohat smriti vibrama smriti vibramshad buddhinashat pranashari. Right? So when sense objects come in front of the senses and the person looks at it and gets a desire to enjoy, he becomes attached. But there is attraction, then there is attachment. And attachments become intense and he wants it at any cost. So that's called as lust. Lust means he wants it at any cost. Even if it's against dharma, he wants it. That's called krodha. Right? Anger arising out of intense attachment. Krodha. Even if somebody says, don't do it, he says, I will do it. So that jiddhi ho jata hai. So kamat krodho vijayate krodhat bhavati sammoha smriti vibhrama buddhinasha. In this way the intelligence is lost and he indulges in wrong activities, sinful activities. Let's take the example of Ajamila. Ajamila is a good boy, but somehow he saw something in the forest, the Shudra and Shudrani in intimate activity. So then what happened? It went inside. And Buddhi started analyzing. Mind became attracted. No, Buddhi started analyzing. Buddhi said it's wrong. Right? Give it up. Give up this thought. Don't dwell on it. No, chant mantras. Do puja. Control your mind. Like this, Buddhi started giving suggestions. Because he had read Shastras. So Buddhi started giving suggestions. But somehow mind overpowered. Right? Buddhi can be overpowered by mind also, because mind is the next door neighbor to the intelligence. Right? Sometimes whatever neighbor does you get affected by that. Suppose neighbor is cooking something, you get the smell, you get affected by it. No? Similarly, buddhi gets affected by the mind. Like sometimes the driver gets affected by the person sitting next to him. He keeps talking something and then he loses his control and dash. Accident ho sakta hai. So similarly, mind is like the person sitting next, and the intelligence or the soul is with the driver and gets affected. So Ajamila tried to control his mind through intelligence, but intelligence failed because attachment became intense. And the intelligence said, oh, let me get her to home. That's what happened. But my parents will object. Okay, I'll send my parents out. See how the intelligence started giving suggestions. I will send them out. So when sense gratificatory desires become intense, buddhi is lost. And then he does things which he feels is right, but actually it is wrong. He thinks it is right, but actually it is absolutely wrong. So Ajamala got that prostitute in and sent his parents and wife also out, and then he had 10 children from this prostitute. Right? Somehow some little buddhi was remaining, so the last child, youngest child, was given the name Narayana. And somehow he started chanting Narayana, 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 Narayana. And that helped him a lot. Right? Otherwise he was destined to go to hell. And Yamadutas also came with the arrest warrant, but somehow because of chanting the holy name, so they left him. So the two qualities of buddhi we discussed till now is the dravya spurana vijnanam and indriyana anugraha. So a few more are there. Next shloka says samshaya atha viparyaso nishchaya smritirevacha swapa iti uchyate buddhir lakshanam vrityatah pratak. Samshaya, doubt, is also a sign of intelligence. To ask doubts, whether it is right or wrong, what he is telling is right or wrong. So doubt is good. Doubting wrong, what is wrong is good, to give it up. But doubting acharyas is wrong. So one should not have the doubting tendency towards acharyas. One should have full faith and accept it. Right? So, but doubting is good. When you meet any new person, we should have doubt over whether it is honest or dishonest. While doing business dealings, one should have the doubt, because otherwise he'll get cheated. So that's samshaya. Samshaya means doubting. Viparyaso, misapprehension. Viparyaso also means to analyze things. Right? To analyze things properly, to come to the right conclusion. That's viparyaso. Initially there is no right conclusions, and he is trying to understand. That's called viparyasa. He is endeavoring. And when he comes to the right conclusion, that's called nishchaya. Nishchaya means the intelligence has become fully convinced that this is right. The right thing is considered, means whatever the Shastri conclusions are there, he gets faith in that. So that's called nishchaya. Like initially there is samshaya. Am I this body or am I spirit soul? It's samshaya. Then when you attend device session, viparyasa. Some thoughts come, he starts discussing, he starts analyzing. Oh, these people are saying we are not this body, but whole world is saying I am this body. What is right? So what are the evidences? Then he sees some videos and some scientific arguments about how there is a soul inside the body. At the time of death, the soul goes out to another body, right? Past life memories, reincarnation stories. When he hears all these things, he starts really considering, oh, maybe it is right. And when he gets convinced, that's called nishchaya. The buddhi is sthir ho gaya. He is convinced that I am this soul, I am not this body. So then smritihi, memory. Memory is also a symptom of intelligence, it is said here. Then last quality is swapa. Swapa means sleep. So sleep is necessary for functioning of the intelligence. Prabhupada says here in the purport. Right? Prabhupada gives a long purport, so I am not getting into details of it. Right? But regarding swapa, Prabhupada says one should sleep. Smriti means memory and swapa means sleep. Sleep is also necessary to keep the intelligence in working order. If there is no sleep, the brain cannot work nicely. So in Bhagavad Gita, it is especially mentioned that persons who regulate eating, sleeping and other necessities of the body in proper proportion become very successful in yoga process. Okay. So one should also take good rest, at least 6 to 7 hours of rest, then the intelligence will function properly. As the intelligence gets put off. And when it's put off, we can't take decisions properly. Right? So when the mind is disturbed or we are in not a proper state of mind, one should avoid taking decisions. Because one is sure to take wrong decisions in that disturbed state of mind. Right? So that's why one should take good rest also, Prabhupada says here. So these are some of the aspects of analytical state of intelligence as described in both the Patanjali yoga system and Sankhya philosophy system of Kapila yoga. In Patanjali also, Patanjali says, Pramana Viparyaya, Vikalpa, Nidra, Smritya. These are the 5 functions of intelligence. Same thing is spoken in Bhagavatam also. Right? The symptoms or the functions of intelligence are given here. So what we should do? We should use our intelligence to understand Krishna consciousness, to grow in Krishna consciousness. So we can use our intelligence to study Srimad Bhagavatam, to study Bhagavad Gita and ascertain the right knowledge given here. One can use our intelligence to make plans for spreading Krishna consciousness. Right? How can I spread Krishna consciousness? Oh, this fellow is asking this question, let me find out the answer to that. Give him this. It's good use of intelligence. Oh, this college, this area, so many souls are there. How can I spread Krishna consciousness in that area? So that the people's life becomes happy. They get connected to Krishna. So use one's intelligence. We all have intelligence. We should use it in a way which expands Krishna consciousness. We want to distribute books. We can use our intelligence. Prabhupada used to say, tax your brain. Right? Generally people don't want to tax their brain because they don't want to take tension. Right? Prabhupada said, tax your brain so that you can spread Krishna consciousness. How to spread this Krishna consciousness movement? I was hearing a conversation with Prabhupada and his devotees. And devotees are reporting, right? Prabhupada, we are facing challenge in the airport. We are distributing Bhagavatam sets and books, your books. But now they are opposing. So they are catching our devotees, putting them in jail. And they are trying to stop our book distribution. Prabhupada, why they are stopping? Because thousands of copies of book distribution is happening. So they are afraid that we will become strong. So they want to stop our movement, and they know that if we stop book distribution, it will be a blow to the ISKCON movement. And Prabhupada said, so they are taking our movement very seriously. We are growing. So they are taking us seriously means it is good sign that we are growing. But then what devotees are doing, how they are distributing? Prabhupada, they are stopping, but then we are finding out other means. They are going to malls and they are going to other places and continuing distributing books. Oh yes, that's called intelligence. Use your intelligence. If one way stops, then use intelligence to start another way. Find out another path. Right? If preaching is not happening this way, there are unlimited ways. You can go other way. You can go this way. See, in this way, if some road is blocked, what people do? They stop car. They have tried to find out. Take detour and somewhere is the destination. Right? If something situation is not favorable, what to do? Take another path. Somehow or the other preaching should go on. This is our mission, Prabhupada said. Right? In some countries they don't allow you to go in dhoti kurta. Okay, go in pant shirt and preach. Right? Prabhupada told Tamal Krishna Maharaj, go to China. Prabhupada, it's a sinful country. What I will eat, what I will do there, how I will survive. Said, you go, preach. And Maharaj went and preached. And Chinese preaching started like that. And one couple was sent to, of course, one Ananda Shantipur in Russia, and then Mandakini Mataji joined him, and then they started preaching in Russia, use their intelligence to preach. But the government intelligence agency were active to stop it. But devotees outsmarted the government also, and then you see now the preaching is booming there. And they were hidingly typing books and making copies of Bhagavad Gita and distributing hand to hand. And there is no cover page for Gita, it's just plain bound books. Because nobody should come to know what is there inside. So they are distributing books, they were doing Sankirtan inside in hidden places. In night satsang they used to do, not in the day. So in this way, they use their intelligence to practice Krishna consciousness. Challenges will come, oppositions will come, but somehow we should go on, some or the other. So that's how we can use our intelligence to advance, to propagate Krishna consciousness movement and also to advance in our own Krishna consciousness. And then Prabhupada gave example of people who misuse their intelligence, Ravana and Hiranyakashipu, and Kamsa. Prabhupada gave these three names. Now, Ram Navami is coming, so we will hear the character of Ravana in the stories. That how Ravana was born in a Brahmana family, he was very powerful, and he had read Shastras, but somehow he wanted to enjoy the world, enjoy Sita. And then he misused his intelligence to kidnap Sita. And what kind of intelligence, Kubuddhi this is called. He took the garb of a sadhu because he thought, no, people respect sadhus. So if I go in the form of a sadhu, people will respect, people will agree to whatever I say, and then I'll cheat. Right? So in this way he cheated using the garb of a sadhu. Kubuddhi, the worst kind of buddhi. And then he kidnapped. And then you know what happened. After 1 year he was killed. But Prabhupada says, he expands it and he says this whole earth is also Sita Devi. Right? Prabhupada said that. The material world is also the goddess of fortune, Sita or Lakshmi. Because the material energy works under the direction of Vishnu, Maya Dakshena, Prakriti. Bhudevi. Bhudevi is also Bhuvaraha Swami, wife of Varahadeva, wife of Lord Vishnu. So one should not exploit Bhudevi, but one should serve Bhudevi. But we are allowed to use whatever we need. We need some food, we need some place to stay, we need some water, some air, some light, some firewood. We can use whatever is necessary for us, but we cannot do shoshana, we cannot exploit Mother Nature for our own needs. Ishavasimidam sarvam yatkinjit jagatyam jagatyena tyaktena bhunjeta tena tyaktena. जो आपके लिए तख्त है, मतलब जो कोटा आपके लिए रखा हुआ है, you enjoy that much. That's allowed. But going beyond that quota is not allowed. Right? One needs a nice home to stay, but you can't claim that whole city is mine or whole world is mine. One can take some food, grains, and eat, but he cannot store everything for his enjoyment. He has to distribute. Charity. Yes, a farmer produces, but he should not keep everything. He should distribute something in charity and give something as tax. So whatever quota he needs, that much he can accept. So we cannot exploit Mother Nature. But Ravana wanted to exploit Sita Devi, and he was vanquished with all his family. Even Hiranyakashipu was vanquished along with his brother Hiranyaksha. Right? Except Vibhishana, everybody in Ravana's family died. Same thing with Duryodhana. Everybody died. All 100 people died. So he was vanquished along with his family, wealth and opulences. One can, however, enjoy that Maya bestowed upon the living entity by Lord Vishnu. The satisfaction of one's senses and desires means enjoying Maya, not the goddess of fortune. Okay, so one should take whatever is necessary and not be greedy for more. So that's what is the lesson here. So in summary, so what we discussed today is Purnanjan is interested in this lady now, and he wants to confirm whether she is married or not married, whether she is Lakshmi Devi. And then he also says, you are not Lakshmi because you are not carrying the lotus. So he doubted. Then Prabhupada expanded to tell that intelligence, the function of intelligence is to doubt. So one should use those intelligence not for sense gratification but for advancing in Krishna consciousness and propagating Krishna consciousness. And we saw the different functions of intelligence as given in Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto. And we also saw some examples of people who misused their intelligence and they were destroyed. And we also saw the example of Ajamila, how he could not use his intelligence properly at the right time, and he had to suffer because of that. So these are some points which we discussed today. So let's try to contemplate on this and try to use our intelligence in propagating Krishna consciousness. Thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavad Mahapuran ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. So anybody has any comments or questions?
Sometimes in our household, sometimes the women are called like Lakshmi, so they feel very appreciated and nice. So by comparing this lady to Bhavani and Lakshmi, is he trying to entice the woman towards?
In general, whenever some girl is born in home, they call Lakshmi has come. Right? Bhagya Lakshmi. So, because she brings good fortune, like that. Anybody who brings good fortune is also addressed as Lakshmi, like that. So, even when some lady gets married and comes to home, she is also called as Lakshmi, because she brings good fortune. And it's also seen that when some marriage, some good girl comes to home, and some good things happen. So that's a sign of Lakshmi's anugraha. Like that. So, and Lakshmi is like mother. So one respectfully sees all other ladies like mother. Right? So that is a very respectful way of seeing everyone.
But Puranjana's intentions were respectable of God, because he has his Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah. So he was, from the talk, it's very respectful. It's not that he is indecent. He is properly using his intelligence, try to glorify her also, and then trying to. You will see that in future he leads a very dharmic life along with his wife.
Is that parallel to
Prachini Varshas, like that only. He leads a very dharmic life. Right? It was not a very sinful marriage. It was a very nice marriage. But that led to bondage. Although Puranjana, he married this lady and lived a very pious life. Okay. And you will see one instance where he did some sinful activity without taking permission from wife. He went outside to go hunting. That's compared to doing sinful activities against dharma. Here this lady represents dharmic intelligence. Okay. This lady represents dharmic intelligence of the soul. Puranjana is soul. His wife is buddhi. And senses are assisting buddhi. So soul is supposed to consult dharmic intelligence before doing any activity. But once he, without taking permission, he goes out for hunting and he feels dejected because he did sinful activity. He comes home and falls at the feet of wife and repents. So Puranjana, soul also, when he commits something wrong, he should repent and reinstate his buddhi and continue doing activities as prescribed by dharmic intelligence. But that itself is not sufficient. One should raise one's intelligence from dharmic level to spiritual platform. That is the lesson of this story. And don't just be satisfied doing ordinary varnashrama dharmas, but use your intelligence to develop Krishna consciousness. That Narada will tell later. No matter how much of a dharmic life you lead, ultimately death will come. Right? Chandavega, who is nothing but death personified, he came along with his soldiers, 360 days and 360 nights soldiers. And then Prajvara, who is the Maranajvara. And there is also Kalayavana and Kalakanya. Kalakanya and Yavana Raja. They are all characters who come. Even if you are leading dharmic life, death will come. Maranajvara will come. And one is dragged out of his Navadvara Puradehe and taken to next life. And because he was attached to himself, next life he became a she. Puranjana becomes Vaidarbhi. And because he had done some pious activities in the past life, next life he gets Maledhwaja's husband, who is devotee, spiritual intelligence. So he gets that spiritual intelligence next life to practice bhakti. In this life, dharmic intelligence, pious intelligence is there. He has to take support of that. But that was not sufficient to take him out of the cycle of birth and death. Next life, he got Maledhwaja, spiritual intelligence. And by his guidance, by his mercy, he got or she got bhakti. And one of the first daughters she got was Asitekshana, who was actually Bhakti Devi. Bhakti was born in his heart. Then she got seven more kids. They are compared to Shravana Kirtana, Smarana Vandana, Pada, Sevana, Dasya. Not Atma Nivedana and right? Last two. So the last two are advanced stages of Bhava Bhakti. That got later. Very scientifically it is explained, detailed. Out of Navida Bhakti, 7 got at sadhana level. Then Prema gets later, Bhava and Prema, when he meets Paramatma at the end. After Malyadvaja dies and she was lamenting, and then Paramatma comes and then final perfection she attains and the soul is liberated. So the science of bhakti is very nicely described here in this story. It's not just a romantic story as we are reading. It's starting like this, but it ends with the highest level of self-realization. But Prajna universe is not interested to directly hear the last thing. So, like Mahabharata, so much of action, romance, and politics and everything there, Bhagavad Gita comes in between. So, like that, the story is told, so that person goes on and on in the story and finally gets the message. He was attached to his wife. Puranjana was dying, he was thinking of his wife and family, so he became. Yeah. Here Narada is not there in Puranjana's story. So Puranjana becomes Vaidharvi, and by good fortune, Yadrichaya, by good fortune he got Malyadvaja's husband. Yeah, so by good fortune he got husband, or she got husband as Malyadvaja, by which he got spiritual intelligence, spiritual perfection. Yeah, sense gratification. What did you say? Pious life is not sinful life, but pious life is a life of bondage. Pious life is like somebody is bound by iron chains, somebody is bound by silver chains, somebody is bound by gold shackles. Prapadyanti anya devata. Those who are desirous of sense gratification, they worship other devatas. That's what it means. काम स्थित ज्ञान प्रपद्यन्ति अन्य देवता तम तम नियम आस्थाय प्रकृति न्यस्तस्व. Yeah, from bhakti point of view, papa or punya both are wrong. A bhala, a manda, sab brahma. Good or bad, both are bad. Both are mental concoctions. So from our point of view, serving Krishna is the highest, not doing good activities. But the good activities, pious activities can be dovetailed in Krishna service. Sinful activities cannot be dovetailed in Krishna service. Good activities, giving charity, giving prasadam, giving, right? Those kind of things can be dovetailed in Krishna service and can be spiritualized.
Following up on that, because sometimes we see that in this current age, sometimes Brahmanas, children who are born in Brahmana families, they are engaged in meat eating.
Yeah.
And, they like this tag that we are Brahmana, but they do all kinds of nonsense activities. So, but they were born in.
So they had got good fortune to be born in Brahmana family because of pious activities in the past. But now they are misusing their free will. That Sukruti is there, but the free will is also there. So free will has become strong, and is misusing that free will to do sinful activities. It's unfortunate.
So do we, if like sometimes we say that if you give milk to a snake, so it becomes more poisonous. So conditioned soul has probability. If we present advice him to pious activities, so it will become.
So we should not advise in our preaching to do pious activities. We should tell them chant Hare Krishna. Okay, worship Krishna, read Bhagavad Gita. Yeah. We can do. Like in our temple, we do yajna. Why we do yajna? Because people like to be pious. They consider yajna to be pious activity. We do yajna, but along with it, we chant Hare Krishna also. We read Gita also. We worship Krishna also. We take prasad also. These are spiritual activities. Right? So those who are attached to piety, engage them in. There is no need of doing yajna. Sankirtan is the highest yajna in Kali Yuga. But why we do? To attract such people. They come sit in the yajna, they also chant Hare Krishna. Getting? Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.